So I'm going to talk about one type and kind of dealing with the bad people. Why? If you have ever had to interact with a bad type of person, or are interacting with a bad type of person, or they come into your life later or something like that, that sucks. And so I'm going to share kind of like what I did, which sometimes when they attack kind of people, they can linger with their attacks and make it multi-day attacks. And I did pretty good yesterday. She chose to attack my mom, my family on Easter. I took the brunt of it yesterday, but my mom has been enduring attacks by this woman who calls herself Aunt Jan. Because she married into the family, so she thinks she's my aunt, which she's technically my step-aunt. And so disqualified from being my favorite aunt because she's not literally my blood aunt. And so I'm going to go over kind of what transpired. So because there tends to be a story behind it. And so what is her bad type? We'll start with that. Is something happens and then she blames everybody else for everything that could possibly be like wrong in the world, even though it might be her own fault. Not always, but then she'll take something that did happen and then say it didn't happen. So we're gonna go through that because it's a lying thing. At best, it's just them being very forgetful. And so we're gonna start with, somehow I had very extreme foresight in this. Like about 4 months ago, I actually took a picture of what we ate together for breakfast. And so it was a breakfast tort my dad makes. And she and my real uncle, so my blood uncle by blood, Uncle Gordy, came to visit. And I was all warm, gave him a hug, love you, that kind of stuff. She was very standoffish. And then we ate tort together. She has an eating disorder, so of course she wasn't very happy. So, watch out for it long term. We're gonna pay for it. Good thing I took a picture. And sure enough, that's what happened, because she says her birthday is on Easter. And so we don't actually know. She's never shown us a birth certificate. And her real name actually is not Jan, it's Janice. Yeah. So again, we don't know if it's actually her birthday, and she doesn't go by her real name. So some red flags there too. And so this is one form of foresight I had. Another form of foresight I had was she's going through, so my granddad is moving closer to my step aunt and my uncle, and she's been attacking my mom nonstop, blaming my mom for everything that's going wrong. If anything goes wrong, she blames my mom. She blames my mom for her dad's condition, all that kind of stuff that are completely out of anybody's control. So very vile human being, this Aunt Jan, which is really step aunt Janice. Okay, so I was like, with them, giving them a warning I have found to be very effective. So the last thing I sent, kind of just like not related to this birthday day that she calls her birthday, that she just so coincidentally aligns with Easter, but she won't actually show us any proof that it's her birthday, kind of thing. So she says it's Easter. So I was like, I saw a squirrel. It was like, which some people call a chipmunk. It's like a ground chipmunk. And I found a YouTube video and I sent it, and it's a warning, like, attack my mom, attack me, this will go on YouTube. So here's the YouTube stamp. So I screenshotted the message chain and I'll go through it. So I started off with, sometimes the mail, like stuff can get lost in the mail. We've had mail thieves steal some of our mail, which was like actually important stuff. So I was like being considerate. I was like, so this is what I wrote to her on Wednesday. So this is last Wednesday. Got your birthday card in the mail, exclamation point. So I was just letting her know, like, in case something gets lost or for whatever reason it doesn't show up, I did send it. And then yesterday I said, happy birthday girl. Love you lots, Aunt Jan. Hope you have a great day. So she already got the card, but that's kind of what I sent. And then I hear back, typical Aunt Jan. Here we go. She stole my uncle's phone and said, What is up, Tanis? Last time you saw Jan, you would not even look at Jan. Now everything is okay. Okay in caps. All right, so she's trying to change the story. The most simple term for that is she is lying. So it's like, all right, let's go through this and clarify reality for her, because she's going to need that. And if she doesn't respond, it means she realized she got something wrong. So I said, this is the first message. I both looked at her and talked to her, because she's texting via my uncle's phone. So I'm just like, we'll address it like it's my uncle. I both looked at her and talked to her in a friendly manner. She was very standoffish. Guess now she is just in a revisionist, misinformation spreading mood. Typical Aunt Jan. Clearly, my happy birthday was not appreciated. Oh well. So here's the text message. So you can screenshot it if you want to. Then the next thing is like, okay, well, she's a really vile type, and so she'll do this kind of thing intentionally to hurt people. So it's like, let's pretend like she actually had a soul. So we even ate a tort dad made together. So recalling, like, putting this out there in case she like has some like memory problem, like she just might not be able to recall things. And then I say, to point that out, boy, is she forgetful. Might want to get that checked out with professional help, which, considering the amount of tacking she does to me and my family, professional help might be, her need is probably an understatement. She could probably clinically get locked up. I have over a decade of counseling experience and have some idea and have interacted with the clinically ill, and she kind of fits it to a T. We'll put it that way. And then my salutation. Love you, Uncle Gordy. Hope you have a good Easter. So this is the rest of the text chain. So those last 4. And then to make sure I got it right, that she was in fact trying to change the past, I was like, so I didn't hear back. So this is good. This means I got the very first thing correct, that she was lying on purpose. The bad types in this world are hit them back, call them out on it, and they stop. I have found. So it's kind of a way of knowing if you got it right or not. So I got it right the first time. And then I was like, all right, clearly she has some mental health issues going on, be it chronic or not. And so I said, hope you feel better. So this is going back to the person who calls themselves Aunt Jan, who is really step Aunt Janice. I said, hope you feel better. Maybe Endry moving will help your mental health. And so Endry is my granddad, right? Like, he's supposed to move over there this week. It's scheduled to moving tomorrow, and then we have cousins coming in the next day. So we're like, all right, this is good pace. We know it's not tied to this moving, but giving some grace because she can't. And happy Easter. Hope you find light in your day, because clearly she's just trying to spread darkness. So, yeah, that's why I call her a bad type. If one, so some people might be kind of surprised that I was able to deal with it. She's not the first type. This is a pretty common type. I've had to deal with people like her before, and especially I've had to deal with the bad type who use their birthday as a day to attack anybody who communicates with them. She is the 3rd one I have dealt with in this manner in the past 8 years. And it leaves a burn. Dealing with people like this, so I can recall each of them in vivid, visceral detail what I did to neutralize their attacking. So she's not unique in any sense of the way. She's just another bad type that fits this exact mold, down to I can take a picture almost 4 months in advance and be like, she's gonna attack like this, and so just be ready. And it worked. So there we go, success story. Document it. What's the long story of this? Document it, right? What I've also found with this type is they delete this kind of stuff after the fact, right? Because they want to try and paint something that didn't happen in the past as reality. So it's a mental illness. She can't accept reality. So the best thing to do is document, right? These aren't the originals. The originals are on my phone. I didn't delete them. I printed out physical copies, and now I'm making a YouTube video, multi-format documentation of their transgressions. I have found to be very effective. Yeah. And it provides like closure. And then, oh, how do I get myself in the mental space? Because they say they blame everybody else in the world for their problems or anything that goes wrong. Just think of yourself as the evil type. That's what I do. So like that's my advice. Think of yourself as the evil type. I think of myself as the evil type when I'm interacting with the bad type, because no matter what I say, unless I get it right, which I did this time, they're gonna attack. And she'll still attack me the next time I see her, or the next text message she sends, or she's super standoffish even in text. She's not friendly whatsoever. I have, in the time I spent at her house, I not once felt safe around her. She is physically coercive with my uncle, which is another word is physical assault. She's not a good human being, but she's still a step aunt. So I have to deal with her. That kind of thing. I did not consent to her joining the family, and there was no wedding that we saw, kind of thing. It's just the reality of that. Though she says there was a wedding, but nobody actually saw it. So, because she didn't invite any of us, so they just said, "Oh yeah, we got married." And I was like, "Do you have any proof?" No, just kind of like the birth certificate thing. No. Which is like, shouldn't have to ask someone for a birth certificate, but when she brings that up in the first place, it's like, well then maybe provide it. But so I just think of myself as the evil type, because in her eyes there is no good in me, especially when she's attacking. And I find that very effective in dealing with them, because evil trumps bad.